Good morning, everybody. Victoria Thomas here in the training department. I also have Christy Kalowski on the line and our new social media specialist, Maddie Morgan. Maddie was an admin at Keystone and is in the process of transitioning over to our corporate office to take over. So I'm going to go ahead and let Maddie get started here. I do want to point out that there is a questions panel in the GoToWebinar panel on the right side of your screen. So if you guys have questions at any time, feel free to pop those in there. I'll try and keep an eye on those and answer as I can. And if there's anything I think we need to address to the group, I'll maybe interrupt Maddie as she goes. So without further ado, take it away, Maddie.
Hi guys, thanks so much for joining in for do's and don'ts of social media in uncertain times. Like Victoria said, my name's Maddie. For those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining in. I have been at the Keystone office for the last 3.5 years, and I'm really looking forward to getting started at corporate as your new social media specialist. So looking forward to meeting you guys and getting to know you better. So currently we're living in really uncertain times, but I don't need to tell you that. Everywhere you look, there's tons of information and news coverage about coronavirus and how it's affecting us. And it can definitely be intimidating to figure out how to navigate social media in these times. So I wanted to jump in here real quick and just give a few tips and recommendations for how to use social media in a smart way. So let's go ahead and jump in. Maybe if I can get my presentation to go. There we go. Okay, so first on the list, we have do audit your social media profiles and don't be a secret agent. So what I mean by self-audit your social media profiles, Google yourself. Check out all your profiles, whether that's, the Tucker website, your Facebook page, realtor.com, Zillow, homes.com, whatever profiles you have set up. Make sure your agent profile and your contact information and your bios and any links you may have to external websites, make sure those are all up to date, consistent across all platforms, your links are working. Now is a great time to triple check that and make sure everything is working. You definitely don't want your profiles to be inconsistent because inconsistent profiles look neglected. So, if somebody is looking for your contact information and your phone number is different on 3 different sites, maybe people will question whether or not you're a full-time agent, or worse, maybe you're not selling anymore, if your profiles aren't up to date. So it's really important to make sure all up to date, all consistent. Now's the time to take care of that. Next up, do think before you type, and don't be judgmental of others' feelings. This is the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. People have been telling us that forever and ever, and it's not any different online. A lot of people use social media as a gathering place to come together with friends and family. And in times of uncertainty, it's really important to remember that people react to things differently. Some people react with humor, some people react with sadness, anger, various emotions. So I just encourage you to think before you type. In times of social distancing, like we are right now, online community is super important, more important than ever. And it's so easy to type something quick and not think about the person on the other side of the screen. So just, think before you type, be respectful, grant others patience as they work through their emotions on social platforms, even if it's they're reacting in a way that maybe you wouldn't. Just, be respectful, be patient. If you're questioning whether or not a response is respectful, draft out a response. Don't post it and walk away for a second. Come back if you still think that it sounds okay, then go ahead and post it. But yeah, definitely use caution. Okay, do be mindful of what you share. Don't share fake, inaccurate news. During a crisis, like right now, there's a ton of information out there, lots of news going around, things are changing by the minute, it can be hard to keep up. Just be wary of clickbait headlines. And clickbait headlines are articles with dramatic titles that are trying to get you to click the link and read the content. Just be wary of that. Make sure you actually click into it and read it and make sure that it's something you're wanting to share before you do that. Also be wary, excuse me, sorry. Be wary of what a friend of a friend of a friend shared. You know, sorry, my throat is so dry. Okay, let's try this again. Be wary of what a friend of a friend of a friend shared. Just because a friend of yours on a social platform shared some content doesn't mean you should necessarily share it too, even if you trust that friend. You know, maybe I see Victoria shared something from a friend of hers, and I don't know that friend, but I trust Victoria. But do I know Victoria's friend? Can I trust that they're looking at the article and making sure that it's accurate information? You know, I know that Victoria would, but I don't know her friends. So just, you know, think about that before just sharing content that has been repeatedly shared. There's lots of false info going around. Just be sure to look at the source and only share relevant information from reputable sources. This great article example I have here is from The Onion. Self-isolated woman going so crazy she started talking to her spouse. For those of you unfamiliar with The Onion, it's a satirical digital media company known for sharing funny articles like that. And while it's funny, you probably don't want to depend on The Onion to get accurate coronavirus, real estate, whatever content from. So just, you know, it's really important to share relevant information, but it's equally important to share accurate information. If you're unsure whether the site you're looking at is credible, verify the information you find with another source that you know to be reliable. You know, double check it. Has anyone else published the same thing? Is it okay for you to go ahead and post? So yeah, just make sure you're checking your information before you put it out there. Next up, we have do advertise your experience, but don't quarantine your business. There are tons of people online at this time. Don't let your business go by the wayside. Everybody is online right now. You know, there's only so much we can do in quarantine and in isolation. More people online than ever. Use that to your advantage. Think about ways that you can use your experience to educate and help others during this time. You know, what sets you apart? What does your experience bring to the table? How can your experience help your clients navigate the market in uncertain times? You know, this is the time to put your knowledge out there. This is also a great opportunity to utilize video or Facebook Live. If you haven't already, video content is huge, and with everybody out there watching it, you might as well give it a shot. Some good examples, you can get on video or Facebook Live and talk about the local market. And, you know, throw in some things to consider in the current client and how the market might change, or what your clients should do now in preparation for the potentially changing market. Another idea, you can share a video about how to plan how you plan to adjust your business. how you plan to get creative with helping clients through virtual showings and suspended open houses, things right now that, you know, aren't running as normal. How do you plan to help your clients through that? Use your expertise to outline for them, this is how I'm going to handle it. Like I said, with so many people being online at this time, don't let your business go by the wayside. You know, take advantage of this opportunity. With that being said, though, you know, that brings me to my next point. Do be an expert on how this affects your clients and your community, but don't be an expert on the crisis. You know, you're more than welcome, like absolutely encouraged to get on video and share your thoughts, you know, your thoughts and opinions about the market, but stay in your lane. You know, this is a great opportunity to teach and connect with your community, but definitely stick to what you know, and that's real estate. Okay, this next one is a big one. Do let your clients know that you're working safely, and don't exploit your essential status. So real estate is considered essential under Indiana's stay-at-home order, meaning you can continue to conduct business while observing certain precautions. Be sure to let your clients know that you have systems in place to support them should their situation require a housing change. You know, let them know you're equipped to operate while remote. You're available for questions. You can meet via video conference, that you're available to conduct showings virtually. You know, let them know that you're still here and you're working for them, but tread lightly. You know, you want to let them know also that you're keeping safety in mind. Be super careful about not exploiting your essential status. You want to let them know you're still available to help and answer their questions, but don't give off the impression that you're above the mandates and protocols. You know, use your best judgment when posting. This isn't really the time to market as usual. You know, posting about new listings is totally fine, but now's not the time to leave flyers or go door knocking, you know, if anybody does that sort of thing. You know, you want to keep in mind that lots of people are out of work right now. So be careful about what you're sharing. You don't want to come across as boastful and by any means. Think twice about posting closing photos. In your photos that you're posting, are you and your clients maintaining social distance? You know, it's awesome to be excited for your clients and support them and tell them congratulations on social media, but you don't want to give off the impression that you don't have to follow social distancing rules because real estate's essential. You know, so make sure that in your photos you're maintaining social distance. Are, you know, on the closing photos as well, are only the essential people in the room. You know, you don't necessarily, I guess you want to think twice about posting a photo that maybe has your clients and their kids and their grandparents and half the town in the photo, you know, because right now we're really expressing that only document signers should be at the closing. So just be careful with that sort of thing. You know, be safe and have your gloves and masks ready for your clients and for you, but think twice about posting photos of your showing kits. You know, just with medical professionals having shortages of those sorts of things, you don't want to give off the impression that you're hoarding materials. Just keep in mind that really serious things are happening right now. Just be thoughtful when you're posting. You want to find a balance, walk the line of being helpful without acting overly excited or boastful about being essential. If you're looking for suggestions for how to communicate that or how to conduct business, check the Tucker training page for inspiration and tips. I know Christy and Victoria daily, if not almost daily, are posting work from home tips and real estate keeps moving initiative tips. You can always share from the company Facebook page. They're always putting out content. And most importantly, on Tucker Toolbox, the marketing department just launched the 2020 Spring Action Plan, which you can see here in this photo. It has great shareable content there with the real estate keeps moving. They put together these like adorable coloring pages for kids. They're like activities for kids that you can share on social media with Tucker branding, and it's just like a fun way to keep your people engaged. And if you're still, keep checking back on that, because I know they're continuing to add things to that. And if you're still unsure about whether a post is okay or not, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to clarify where I can. All right, next, do post organically, don't mindlessly share. Posts, we talked a little bit about like business posts, but posts don't necessarily have to be strictly about business. Feel totally confident sharing from the heart. And on certain times it can feel overwhelming to know what to post or what to share. But you don't always have to, worry about your logo or promoting your business as a realtor. It's definitely more important in this time to offer your help and support. Think to yourself, who in your area needs help? And, how can you help them? So what can you share right now? I always say, when in doubt, be a helper. Highlight others, be an encourager. Share your own story. Like give a behind the scenes look of what it's like to work at home while, corralling all your kids. Feel free to share your struggles, your wins, be real and authentic. We're all human, we're all in this quarantine situation together. So it never hurts to remind people that, you're going through the same thing and you're there to help. Support local businesses and restaurants. Are you involved in things that are shut down, like Little League, church? Maybe you have a core like gym group. Post about that, Maybe you host a happy hour for those people, and you can post a photo of your Zoom call saying that, you're still getting in your time with your people in a way that's safe. And also, I meant to switch my slides, sorry. Share good news. I shared this link, the goodnewsnetwork.org. If you go to that website, it has tons of articles, just like good, inspiring, positive, like feel-good stories that if you're wanting to share something and lift people's spirits, that's actually a really great place to find that. So like I mentioned earlier, just think before you type. Don't mindlessly share articles. You definitely want to check the source of the article. I would encourage you to be careful with funny jokes or memes. You never quite know how those are going to land, and you definitely don't want to make light of the situation that's going on right now. There are a lot of really serious things, so just tread lightly with that sort of thing. Maybe instead of posting a meme, consider sharing something about you, something funny and relatable. Like, for example, my roots are growing out real bad right now. Like my hair is in desperate need of attention. But maybe I could, make a joke about how my roots are growing out, but then shout out my hairdresser, and support her and just say like, oh man, can't wait to get back in the salon and see Adriana. Like my life depends on her, something like that. Or maybe post a video of you conducting PE class in your backyard with your kids, like making them do push-ups and jumping jacks and whatever else. Things that are lighthearted, but don't necessarily make light of the current situation. with anything you want to post or share, just keep in mind the actions you take right now will affect your business in a year. Ask yourself before you share something, how will this look in a year, in 5 years? Will you be proud of what you posted, or will you be embarrassed? Just think twice before posting anything. I did go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to share something, Maddie, because I loved what you just said about the things that you're doing now are going to affect your business a year from now. I think that's so true. We're very fortunate that we're still deemed essential. And I was on a call last week with, it was a Leading RE call, and Larry Kendall, who is the founder of Ninja Selling, was talking, and he made such a good point that kind of goes hand in hand with what Maddie just said. And it was, the need for shelter, housing, which we're all involved in, is not going to go away. It might slow down a little bit, but all of those buyers and sellers are just going to become more pent up. So his point was that wave is going to break at some point in the future. It could be a month from now, 3 months from now, a year from now, but we're really trying to promote and help you guys with lots of learning potential and learning opportunities to get you ready for when that wave does crash. And he kind of likened it to surfing, and he was saying, when you're out surfing in the ocean, you don't start paddling on your surfboard as the wave is crashing. You start paddling like crazy when you start to see that wave coming. So like Maddie said, everything we do now is going to affect our business, whether it's 2 months, 6 months, or a year down the road. So being active and working in our business and being, very, sort of in tune with what we're posting is a really, really smart thing to be doing right now.
Definitely. That's a great example with the wave and the surfing. Yeah, definitely. Just what you're doing now will affect your business down the road, like Christy said. So keeping that in mind as you're making decisions on social media. I did pull a few posts from Facebook that I've seen that I thought were great. So Claire Belby, shared a video of her son practicing his golf swing in the backyard, which I think is awesome. The reason I like it is it's a look behind the scenes, but it's a positive message, like she's outside with her kids getting creative, but is still being safe by not actually going to a driving range. Don't be afraid to share your routine, how you're coping with work from home and balancing kids and life. And like I said earlier, we're all human, we're all in this together. I personally love seeing what you're all up to, so please keep posting it. This Hometown Heroes post here on the right-hand side is a really cool idea that was posted in a digital marketing group that I'm a part of on Facebook. You basically ask your clients to nominate a hometown hero, and in exchange, like they get entered for a chance to win a prize from a local business. So it's a really cool idea for a number of reasons. One, it's a great community connection opportunity. Two, it encourages people to comment, which increases your social media engagement. Like the more comments you get, the more replies you're doing, that pushes your posts out there so more people see them. But it also supports the people at the front line of the pandemic, but also supports local businesses. I thought that was really cool, something different, think creatively like that. Next, Brian Walker, who's a manager at the Keystone office, he recently made this post on his front door. He chalked up a cute little drawing supporting the medical professionals in his life that he knows. So do you know a doctor or a nurse or a medical professional, maybe a first responder or a teacher? Give them a shout out, show your support. They're definitely facing a lot of things that we may easily take for granted. So giving them a shout out, I think, is a really cool way of showing your support. And then here on the right-hand side, Kelly Huff, I think if you're not friends with her on Facebook, she does a killer job of promoting local businesses. Like there is not a single day that goes by that she doesn't pop up in my news feed sharing something about what a local business is offering or how you can support them. She's constantly sharing about restaurants offering grocery services or local florists offering deals or what local organizations are doing to help and how you can get involved. So she's acting as a community partner, and I really like that. It's a great example of when in doubt, be a helper. All right, so we kind of covered a lot very quickly, so I just wanted to do a quick recap for you. Make sure to self-audit your social media profiles. Make sure your photo and your contact information are consistent across all platforms. Think before you type. Is what you're putting out there kind? Is it respectful? Is it going to look good down the line, you know, in 5 years from now? Definitely advertise your experience, how like you as a realtor can help your sphere, but stick to what you know. Don't exploit your essential status. Check the Tucker training page, the company Facebook, and the spring action plan on Tucker Toolbox. Like I mentioned, they all have tips and suggestions for what to post, so keep checking on those. And last but not least, when in doubt, be a helper. We're creating a digital legacy right now. You know, we're going to look back on this and see everything that we shared and we posted. So just make sure it's something you're proud of. Be kind and be a helper. So I will stick around for a few minutes if anybody has questions, and I will try to answer them. If not, feel free to shoot me an email. It's just maddie.morgan@talktotucker.com, and I'll be as helpful as I can be. Thanks, guys.